Welcome back to Mind Pump TV. It's me, Sal Di Stefano, your host. All right, today we have Palak Shah coming on. She's a physical therapist, and she's going to show you some movements for low back pain, especially for those of you that get low back pain when you deadlift. All right, check this out.
Now we're going to actually look at some glute strengthening exercises. One of the biggest questions I get is when I do a deadlift, I feel pain in my lower back or I feel pain in my calf muscle. What are the reasons to do that? One of the things is to not focus on where you feel the pain, but what is leading to the pain. And one of the biggest causes of having pain in your lower back when you're doing deadlifts is because your lower back's working harder than your buttock muscles, which are the ones that should be working and getting stronger with a deadlift. So let's talk about how do you take a step back and train your gluteal muscles so that you can do your deadlifts without pain. A really good glute recruiting exercise is a bridge. It's a very, very simple exercise, but again, training our brain to know where the glute muscles are working is key. So thank you for being here, Sue. And it starts with a very simple position here with your knees bent. You want to have your lower back relax. It puts you in a position where you don't overarch your lower back, so that's pretty key. And there are a lot of different philosophies of doing bridges. A Pilates instructor can train you how to actually lift every segment of your spine, curl the pelvis. So today we're going to actually talk about what recruits the glute muscles most. And it's a very simple concept. You start with pushing your feet down, tightening your buttocks when you're lifting up. Let's try that. And stop when your glutes can only lift your back up to that level. It's not about lifting high. It's not about curling your spine or curling your pelvis. It's pushing your feet down and lifting to the level where your glutes can tighten up and lift you up. You can hold this for 3 seconds and go down, or you could go up and down 3 sets of 15 reps. While we try this, a few things to pay attention to is that we're not really knocking our knees inwards or trying to lift our back too much. Our goal is to keep the knees and the feet hip width apart, lift to the level where your glutes are tightening up, and you should feel this work in the butt crease, exactly where your glutes are, and you're recruiting the major muscles of your gluteal muscles. So this is great, a very, very simple exercise if it's too simple for you, which is highly possible. The next step you can do is actually go up on your tippy toes and then work from here and do the same exercise. Now this recruits your glutes, your hamstrings, your calf muscles, so the whole posterior leg muscles are recruited when you're doing this bridge. It's also very fantastic, and you might actually notice that it's harder to keep your pelvis leveled when you do this if you have weakness on one leg over the other. So always stay focused on making sure your pelvis is aligned or in the same level when you're doing your bridge. Let's say the bridge and the calf raise bridge was pretty easy. This is where you go next, which is your feet on a bench, or feet on a chair or a bed, any surface that's stable enough to prop your heels up. We're gonna dig down with your heel and then tighten your buttocks to lift your body up. Only go to the point where your glutes are tightened up and lifting your body. This engages your glutes and your hamstrings and recruits those posterior leg muscles pretty strongly. I would recommend you could start these with even 3 sets of 6 repetitions and build it up to 3 or 4 sets. You could then go to adding 8 or 10 reps in your sets. But this is great, pretty easy. Another progression is you could actually put a band around your knee to make sure that those knees don't knock inwards. So lots of different ways of recruiting the right muscles, but making sure those knees don't knock in and you're not overarching with your back are pretty important to keep those glutes working. Let's take a look at a pretty challenging way of doing bridges. You could use a ball instead of a stable surface like a bench or a chair. When you're doing the bridges with your feet propped up on a ball, it really throws you off balance and helps engage your core muscles along with doing your glutes and your hamstrings. So it's really important that you're ready for this before you move on to this level. There are two ways of doing this, one with your knees bent and one with your knees straight. The only difference is if it recruits your hamstring muscles more with your knees bent and focuses more on your glutes when with your knees straight. So we're going to start with knees bent. It's also a little bit easier to do it that way. So dig your heels in and use your hands if you need to grasp the floor, and then tighten your buttocks to lift your hips up. Ensure that you're able to maintain the stability and your pelvis is not rocking, but this really gets your core engaged, your hips engaged, helps provide a good central nervous system impulse to help you stabilize your body. You should feel this again in the buttock area. Sue, do you feel it in your hamstrings and your glutes? Okay, great. Awesome. You could start again with 3 sets of 6, as long as you stay stable, and then build it up to 3 sets of 10 repetitions if you like.
Hey, I hope you found that valuable. Look, if those don't help you out and you need extra help, go to getluna.com. Physical therapists actually come to your house and help you out. The best part, it's covered by insurance. Also, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and turn on your notifications.